Our next reader, Abigail Mitchell. She is a junior psychology major who has a heart of gold. I know this. She's a student of mine. I see her interactions with other people all the time. Writing has been her passion since she finished writing her first novel at the age of 9. Her interests may be all over the place and have no consistent theme, but they're just some of the things that make her exciting. Her lifelong dream is to write a book so amazing that people care enough to make crazy conspiracies about it on the internet. Her short-term goal is not to be ill tonight. I edited that. Abigail Mitchell.
Hello, sorry. So hi, I'm Abigail Mitchell, and before I introduce my work, I wanted to thank both Professor White and Miss Davies for getting me to this point, and I wanted to say how honored I am to be among such a great group of people. Like, seriously, their work is amazing. So I'm going to be reading an excerpt from my work, Cotton Candy Skies. Essentially, when you boil down this piece of work, it's looking at anxiety from a humorous perspective. And when you boil me down, that's all I am too, anxious and humorous. So I hope you enjoy. The quiet chime of the bell woke me from my nap. I snapped upright and quickly wiped away the crumbs from the sandwich that had lulled me to sleep. From behind the counter, I watched the young Miss Lila Steele step into the small gas station. My head felt stuck in the fog of sleep, and all I could do was grunt hello. She smiled politely and murmured a meek greeting, but her eyes darted around the room until she found the beverage section. Lila was generally a talkative person, always jumping from one crazy idea to the next. One day she would go on and on about the moral integrity of her high school student council, and the next she'd be laughing about these silly little internet videos called Vines. Lila's mom used to come in with her when she was too little to come in on her own, but she stopped when she married the jackass to end all other jackasses, as Lila called her stepfather. I assumed the humidity was what had Lila on edge that day, like most of the people I'd come across. The few people that bothered to come in were quick to snap. By no means would the rest of the country label this horrific weather conditions, but Californians aren't exactly equipped to deal with any kind of real weather. In 5 broad steps, she was at the back of the store examining the drink selection carefully. I kept my eyes on her, unwilling to let even a single candy bar leave the station unpaid for. Lila was hardly the kind of girl to steal, but you can never take a chance. If one person got away with it, a horde of teenagers would be in here tomorrow trying to overthrow the place. Lila stomped down the aisle. The distinct sound of her steel-toed boots marked her every step and caused my blood pressure to rise. With her long blonde hair flying behind her, she said, "Art, where the hell is the Diet Coke?" "I got rid of it," I said. "Apparently it's chock-filled with these cancerous chemicals, but not to fear. We've got plenty of Coke Zero." Her face turned wild with anger. Today, apparently, was the day death would come for me. I used to read every issue of National Geographic growing up, and I swear there was one article that said, if you see a predator in the wild, you're supposed to hold completely still. Or maybe you were supposed to make yourself bigger. Either way, I got the sense that nothing would save me now. Lila stopped suddenly. She pressed her hands firmly against her eyes and gained control of her breathing. Her hands dropped to her side, and her fierce gaze fixated on me. "What kind of bullshit is this?" she said. "This is the United States of America. If I wanted people telling me what I can and cannot ingest, I'd go live in communist Russia." "I'm pretty sure Russia isn't communist anymore. Do you have any idea how much business you've just lost? Everyone and their mother drinks Diet Coke. Literally everyone's mother drinks Diet Coke." "I don't know what to tell you. There's a Walmart 10 miles south of here you could try." "Oh yeah, and then what?" she said. "I can hop on my yacht to Santorini. Maybe there's Diet Coke there." Her phone chimed, and she stiffened ever so slightly. I almost didn't notice it, but to be fair, my whole focus was on not saying anything stupid again. "It was just a suggestion," I murmured. "Look, I need Diet Coke. My mom doesn't keep it in the house anymore because," chime, "she's an evil, evil woman who enjoys watching me suffer. I'm begging you, Art." Her phone chimed again. "For fuck's sake, the closest thing she has to soda in the house is salad water." Lila normally looked like the spitting image of her mother with her sweet hazel eyes, but now red-rimmed and almost crazed, I couldn't see a trace of anything familiar. I feel silly for asking, but is this really about Diet Coke? Oh, sorry. My pages got all mixed up. My bad. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, this is a nightmare. God. I finally said, I think someone's trying to reach you. You don't say. She moved back away from the counter. She grabbed the first thing she saw off the shelf, the entire stock of ho-hos, and plopped on the floor. In a despondent, trance-like state, she began to tear the wrappers apart and stuff the pastries in her mouth one by one. Partly in shock, partly mesmerized, I stood there watching. It was truly an art form, being able to stuff an entire ho-ho in one's mouth without once coming up for air. The phone chimed again. Lila violently plucked the device from her pocket and chucked it across the store. I feel silly for asking, but is this really about Diet Coke? Obviously not art, she said. She rolled her eyes and then proceeded to stuff another ho-ho in her mouth. Is this I cleared my throat. Is this a period thing? Good Lord, Art! I barely dodged a ho-ho to the head. I studied the features of her face. Makeup blurred with every teardrop. Her blonde hair clung to the tear trails on her cheeks. Chocolate caked around her lips. I grabbed the spare box of Kleenex I kept by the cash register and moved around the counter. Standing above Lila, I handed the box down to her. She looked up at me, fluorescent light highlighting her tear-stained cheeks, and wordlessly took the box. Once the soft cries gave way to silence, Lila murmured, "I'm 16. With some difficulty, I squatted to her eye level and nodded, although understanding escaped me, as it so often did. I'm 16. I'm supposed to be worrying about school and Jordan and how I'm going to wear my hair to prom and lame shit like that." She crossed her arms over her stomach, hugging herself, before looking up at me. "I'm not supposed to be pregnant." Thank you.